most people then, will live a better life than their parents. It can be indeed argued that with the meritocratic advances now in place, that materialistic goods are cheaper and more available. So what do we have? We have welfare for the financial system, increasingly dominating government policy, bailouts for the rich, austerity for the poor. There are too few jobs, and increasingly few for full-time workers. Continuing. Today there are streaks of meritocracy in government and industry, and more in education. But the management of social affairs today around the world is little tied to assessment of merit. Political and economic power dominate. But meritocracy remains part of the aspiration in the schoolhouse. Part of the problem of meritocracy is the inadequate definition of merit. Intelligence is not the solution. Competence is a weak indicator of future performance and caring. Effort is important, but situational, as is past performance on the job. Were they all put together, monitored, and regularly upgraded, meritocracy might be a good goal if kept in balance with equity. Hang in there, we'll have to. Teachers are experienced in the recognition of merit. Their practice is devoted to the increase of merit. They admire and advocate systems of merit in their classrooms and in their communities. They are aware that academic merit is not equivalent to organizational and social merit. They look for a more comprehensive definition of meritocracy than in Michael Young's book. Educators today, as in schools and societies of the past, are protective of the educational system as it is. They preach merit and have situational definitions of it. And when the president redefines the merit of teaching, they go into the street. We cannot eliminate the worship of merit, but we could reduce some of its oversimplification. We cannot make equity a top virtue, but we could reduce some of the discrimination. Ameliorating the gaps in privilege needs some sense of justice. Our constitutions, yours and mine, and the Bible, and Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation are not adequate for the cause we need for equity. Still, a teacher cannot give all A's, or all C's, or all F's. The work of the school will continue to be, has to be, discriminating more than emancipatory. Meritocracy exists in the schools as a default setting, often obscure, regularly heeded. The ethic is pervasive but seldom talked about. Teachers of all ages, styles, and personalities practice it. Only a few of them consider equity an alternative point of view worth explaining or protecting. Teachers express a commitment to fairness, but seldom to equity. There are too many good reasons to discriminate. Meritocracy captures many of those reasons. But meritocracy, however it's formed, is a constraint on equitable teaching in the schools. It's the right one. Big surprise. Quality exists, but as a state of mind, a fantasia. The quality of education in all Mexico and each country is not a physical or measurable commodity. It's a creature of perception and belief. That belief may be based on lots of good evidence, but still, it's a mental construction of the perceivers. President Peña Nieto has a view of the national condition. So does Mario Vasquez Rania, CEO of La Prensa. So does that person sitting next to you. The quality of Mexican education exists, but only in the minds of people. It can't be measured other than through experience. The assessment still is an important commodity for us. Economists invent indicators for all sorts of phenomena, including quality of education. Politicians and researchers do too. Even the best indicators of equity, even the best indicators of quality of education are weak. Graduation rate from secondary school is an important statistic, but a weak indicator of the quality of the work of the educators. Quality has too many other factors, most of which we cannot measure well. National standing on PISA and other international tests is intriguing, but more an indicator of scholastic aptitude than achievement. International tests are poor indicators of the quality of education available to Mexicans, and so of course in other countries. What do you say? Is education more like science and happiness, or more like the stock market and football? Education does not have a bottom line, much as many outsiders would like to install. There are many ingredients of quality that make up education, as displayed back in Figure 1, those boxes. For example, ingredients: teaching, counseling, school management, preschool experience, school spirit, job market, political support, commitment to meritocracy, and many, many more. But some ingredients are more important than others. Does education foster equity? Does the education resist indoctrination? Here are words from writer Doris Lessing. Still no brain, but Doris has a great brain. Doris says, ideally, what should be said to every child repeatedly throughout his or her school life is something like this: you are in the process of being indoctrinated. We have not yet evolved a system of education that is not a system of indoctrination. We're sorry. That's the best we can do. What you're being taught here is an amalgam of current prejudice and the choices of a particular culture. National quality of education is not measured well enough to be a basis for public policy. Our desire to have better education is a proper basis for public policy. With our desires, with our experience, we have our ideas about merit and weakness of our educational system. These ideas are important, and together we can estimate quality, and we can call it assessment. But the practice of education goes wrong when we treat our estimates as real, as we are already doing. Already we teach to the test, treating the estimate as the goal. We work to enhance the indicator marks more than to improve our teaching. The same reasoning pertains to measuring the quality of an individual's teacher or student. True quality cannot be measured. Real competence cannot be measured. We can construct indicators and graphics and estimates, but we should not let them substitute for the best direct observations educators can make of what the students and other educators are doing. Figure 1 here cannot become a true model for the evaluation of teaching because it leaves too much experience out of the picture. Figure 2 is not an accurate picture of my knowledge. Models and indicators and assessments are fictions. They can be well constructed, but they're guesses. Just as we learn much about the human condition from fiction, we can enrich our thought processes by indicators, stretch our minds, but we should not mistake substituting fiction for the real thing. In the end, we should laugh those indicators off. Real assessment should be based on what we ourselves experience and others we trust as educational quality. Here we are, a room full of educators, thoughtful people. We have deep feelings about the quality in education, much drawn from experience. We should hear the counter evidence, the challenges to our feelings, but we should remain skeptical of the assessments of economists and test experts and other fiction writers. Assessment truth lies in personal experience.